If you've been scrolling through endless listings, watching YouTube demos, and still feel that knot in your stomach because you can't tell which indoor golf cage actually lets you swing without worrying about wrecking the garage, you're not alone. I've been there, staring at a wall of options, trying to figure out whether the extra cost on a premium Enclosure really translates into a safer, quieter, and more usable practice space. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this video, I'm going to break down the Wahlberg Store Golf Simulator Enclosure the way a real golfer would, thinking about the day-to-day reality of setting it up, using it, and living with it for months. First off, let's talk about why an enclosure matters beyond the obvious: keep the balls in the house line. The biggest mistake most beginners make is buying a cheap net that barely holds up after a few dozen drives. That leads to cracked frames, ripped fabric, and a lot of frustration that makes you think the whole indoor golf idea is a gimmick. What you really need is a structure that can stand up to the torque of a driver's swing, absorb the impact without sending a deafening thud through the walls, and stay stable even when your kids start using it for impromptu play. The Wahlberg kit promises a 32mm thickened stainless steel frame and a double-layer silent impact screen. Two claims that sound good on paper, but we'll see how they hold up in practice. The first thing I noticed when the box arrived was the weight of the frame components. Those 32mm stainless steel tubes feel solid, not flimsy like the aluminum you see on budget kits. The anti-rust coating is a nice touch if your garage tends to get damp in the winter. When you bolt the frame together, the joints lock with a tightness that actually makes you feel confident that the cage won't wobble when you swing a 150 miles per hour driver. In real use, that stability translates to less wiggle in the screen, meaning the fabric stays flat and you get a more consistent ball flight visual. Now, the impact screen is where this silent claim gets put to the test. It's a double-layer fabric, essentially two sheets of high GSM Oxford cloth with a silent absorbent layer sandwiched between. When I took a few drives at 110 miles per hour, the sound was surprisingly muted, more of a soft thump than the sharp crack you hear with a single-layer net. The screen also stopped the ball dead in its tracks, which is a big win if you share the garage with a car or other equipment. In my garage, the ball didn't bounce back onto the floor. It stayed attached to the screen, which makes cleanup a breeze and protects the rest of the space from stray dings. Side barriers are another practical element that often gets overlooked. Many enclosures simply rely on the front screen, leaving the sides open for easier access. The Wahlberg kit includes reinforced Oxford cloth side panels that attach with Velcro straps. In a real-world scenario, those panels stopped a wayward 9-iron from ricocheting off the garage wall and landing in the tool bench area. If you have kids or pets, those side barriers become a safety net, literally preventing a rogue ball from turning the whole garage into a mini golf hazard course. Assembly is where a lot of kits stumble. The marketing says 30 minutes, 2 people recommended, and that's about the truth. The frame pieces slot together with a simple bolt-and nut system. You don't need a power drill, just a basic wrench. The biggest trick is aligning the side panels correctly before you tighten the final nuts. But once you have the frame square, the fabric slides over the hooks and snaps into place. If you're a solo homeowner, you might need a friend for those last few minutes, but the whole process feels intuitive enough that you don't end up with a half-assembled mess. So, who should actually buy this enclosure? If you're a mid-handicap golfer who wants to practice drives, iron shots, and short game drills year-round, and you have at least a 10 feet 8 feet space in a garage or spare room, this kit checks the boxes. The sturdy frame means you can swing a driver without worrying about the structure bending, and the silent screen keeps your neighbors or your spouse happy when you're early in the morning. It's also a solid choice for families who want a safe place for kids to swing a plastic club without fearing broken windows. On the flip side, if you're a casual weekend player who only hits a few balls a month, you might be overpaying for a level of durability you'll never fully utilize. The same goes for apartment dwellers or anyone with a ceiling lower than 5 feet. The enclosure's 5-foot height is fixed, and you'll need to compromise on the swing arc. There's also no built-in lighting system or projector mount. So if you're planning a full-blown simulation with a screen and launch monitor, you'll have to source those extras yourself. That adds cost and complexity that some buyers might not be ready for.